San Diego Unveiled is a talk show solely for women.
It represents women from all over San Diego.
They come to our show to express their love and passion for what they do.
It's just a lot of inspiration, and
our voices are often sheltered and shunned, but San Diego Unveiled puts volume behind us and lets us be heard and seen in ways that has never been done in San Diego.
Welcome back to San Diego Unveiled. Our guest today developed her love of sewing into her own independent clothing brand, as well as an interest for interior design, mainly curtains and upholstery, I hear. She also aims to make a difference and give back through her job at the Department of Housing and Community Development. On her off time, she also enjoys raising awareness to topics that affect our region. Please welcome Kat Lewis. Hi, welcome to our show. You look lovely in print.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. So tell me about this career that you've followed.
Which career? Which one?
I'm sorry. I know, you're so well-rounded. There's too many things. Actually, tell me about the sewing, since that was like your first thing, right? I heard that you've always been like a businesswoman. So what got you into that kind of realm?
Well, you know, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree.
I believe that.
My father he's a business owner. I never knew him to work for anybody else. I mean, I grew vegetables in his backyard, and he set me out on the corner to sell them at about 5. Both of my mothers, my biological and my stepmother, are avid seamstresses. My biological mom used to work in a factory in LA in the 60s, and my stepmother does it for the love. And so she is very detail-oriented and about the art behind it. And so I spent a lot of my childhood in the fabric store and in the sewing room.
So you had a really good childhood then.
You know, I can't complain. I think I've been blessed in that area.
Yeah, because I mean, your family definitely raised you the importance of business and the importance of working for yourself. So I think that's like a big, a really good upbringing in your life. So that led you to being in the House of Department?
Well, actually, I've had a deep desire to give back to this community.
Yeah.
And so I went through paralegal school at Miramar College, actually. Woo, woo. Gotta give them a shout out. And from that, I learned the term servant leadership. In regards to my family, though, it wasn't so much about owning your own business or running a business. It was more so about ownership, about the deep pride that comes from ownership, of it being yours. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. What are some of the pros and cons of working with the Department of Housing and Community Development?
That we can't save the world. That's the biggest con. You know, you have this desire that the need and the resources are not even. In San Diego, specifically, the vacancy rate is less than 3%. So even if you're, you know, 2-income household and you think you have a shot, I mean, there's no places to rent, or the cost of housing is extremely high.
Definitely.
Because the vacancy rate is so low, it's really a landlord's market or a seller's market, you know, and it adds stress when your housing cost is more than 30% of your budget.
Oh yeah, and I think it actually increased a lot with like housing and stuff. I mean, people don't have the funds to be living like here in San Diego or in a nice location because of the vacancy. I think that's like a big deal. So from that, what got you into giving back? Like, what triggered that part of your life to be like, oh, this is what I want to do for other people? And because I could see that you really care.
I do.
Yeah.
It's kind of selfish. I was a teenage mom and I was a high school dropout. And my parents they're great parents, but a parent's job is to teach you how to survive and live without them and thrive. And so I was kind of, I had to swim for myself. And because of that, I realized that I needed people. And, you know, like when you need something in life, you have to be that in life. So then that way it
You
comes
can-
back to you
yeah.
in the universe. And it just really lined up with the servant leadership that comes from the law profession, having to give volunteer hours just to get employed because they want to put a face with a name. It landed me in the public sector. And I will never look back. You know,
Yeah.
it's important
It is that.
to keep this the finest city.
No,
in
seriously,
America, you know?
and we need people like you
Thank
to. Yeah, there's not so many people that you meet out there that have that passion to make the world better. I mean, you're helping a lot of people, and I think that's like a big deal because, that it doesn't sound selfish at all. Actually, were you, because all this was all brought upon you, being that person that has to take responsibility, being that person to thrive? Were you the oldest child? Because I know that plays a big part of someone's life, right?
Well, it's interesting you say that. From my biological mom, I'm the youngest.
Oh,
And from my dad, I'm
wow.
his first and only girl. And so I think he was scared. Like, oh, I've got to teach this girl to be a powerhouse or to, you know, keep her own mind because, you know, that would break a dad's heart if
Oh,
he
yeah.
sees his daughter go down to the
And
wayside, you
since
know?
you're the only child from your dad's side, right?
Oldest.
Oldest child.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have two younger brothers and
But
two
you're the
older
only
sisters.
girl. Oh, okay. You have two older sisters. On his side too?
No. I have the youngest child in my mom's
Yeah.
children, so I have two older sisters. And I'm the oldest child and only daughter on my
your
father's
dad's
side. So I have two younger
Oh,
brothers.
Yeah. So they were probably really protective over you, yeah?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
I think so.
you grew up
I
to
feel
be
safe.
like, yeah, a powerful woman.
True.
That's awesome. That's really cool. What do you have to say for like the younger generation of women who are inspiring to create and produce clothing?
Okay. For me, sewing has been a therapy.
Oh, okay.
It is a creative outlet. I choose to see the beauty in life, and so I make dresses, and I help other professional women get their look together. What I say to the younger generation is don't quit, and no dream is too small or silly. Just you're guaranteed to succeed if you don't quit. The only way you can fail is if you quit. Even if it doesn't go your way, that's not a failure. That's a lesson learned.
Definitely. What kind of influential people made you have this kind of mindset that you have right now?
I don't know how I was so lucky to cross paths with dynamic people. So many, many to list. I mean, of course, from my parents to she's the former deputy director for Health and Human Services.
Wow.
When you decide to add value to the situation, you'll always be relevant. And that was an underlying consistent goal that I picked up from folks, you know?
Yeah, that's so powerful. No, definitely. Yeah. That's amazing. So, because you're such a strong woman, what's your full-time, like, since sewing is kind of almost like a hobby to you too, and it's kind of therapeutic, what is your, like, what's on your mind full-time?
Oh, well, my next stop will be law school. I want
Woo!
to.
That's amazing. That's a lot of school there for you.
It's okay. It's worth it because life is long, actually. I mean, it goes fast, but we have the opportunity to live 3 lifetimes in one life. You know, every 30 years, I think we kind of hit a new level. And this country is ran on policies. And even if the consensus is, hey, this needs to go this way, if you don't have law on your side, it can't be enforced. And so I want to go to law school, and I want to help the community exercise their rights, even if it's one person at a time making an informed decision. You know, that's my thing.
Oh my gosh, and that's actually really important. There's so many people in this world, including me, that don't even know my own rights and like get into trouble even though, because I know there's like cops out there that kind of trick you into thinking you have to do things when you kind of don't. And so I think that's really important, even like with law, to know that kind of stuff, to be knowledgeable about those things.
Well, my advice, if you get into it with the police, as they say, po-po.
Yeah.
Do not argue with them on the street. Take it to
yeah.
court, because safety is key.
Mm-hmm.
Safety is key, and it can get out of hand, and it can get really messy. My favorite focus is the working person. I love employment law. I love family law.
Okay.
And everybody's guaranteed to die. So
yeah, that's inevitable.
There's law to go behind that because you want to keep the family unit intact. And when people start fighting over things because mom didn't leave instructions, it's a burden. And it's exactly the opposite of what mom would want. Everybody fighting over her favorite dress.
Yeah.
So
did you design your dress, by the way?
I did.
Really wanted to ask you that. No way.
Yes.
And this is your line that you
Yes,
have
it is.
on.
Yes, it
That's
is.
crazy. When did you start that?
Well, I was through my trek of being a mom and figuring out stuff in life. Before I came to the county of San Diego, I was in paralegal school and I needed to earn an income. And sewing kept food on our table. And it's grown from that. So I've had fabric imported from Africa, and then I like to put it on Western cuts, so then it ends up in corporate America. And so then girls can, or women, can express their background or their, as my friend Shauna calls it, razzle-dazzle, without being
That's nice.
inappropriate,
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
No, it's nice. You give it a lot of personality. So that's, I'm just so flabbergasted. It's crazy how you're using this kind of talent that just came, from God, and you're using it to become your income, and you're figuring out what to do and stuff. You're making plans for yourself. How did you get that strong mindset to just figure it out? Like when there's a problem, you kind of just, I'm not sure what I'm like trying to say, but it's just, you're in a situation and you kind of, you have an answer for it. Like what?
Okay, so Hernan Cortez had a famous line that said, "Burn the boats," and it was when he came to America and they were exploring, they decided to burn the boats, so then the option of failure was not there. When you're committed to surviving and you're committed to thriving, and then the vision, you have to have a vision, and sometimes you have to go through intentional exercises to keep it in front of you, like dream boards, keeping good company, making sure your territories have no toxic people or toxicity at all, and knowing that you can't give what you don't have. So just like you say, if you want love, you've got to give love, but you can't give love if you don't love yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's this overflow is what is out there to give. And giving really is the key. You want prosperity, whether it's a big family or a big check, you've got to give. And it really starts with love. It does.
Oh, I do believe that too. Like, kind of loving yourself is kind of the awakening to that journey in your life. So you pretty much had that awakening. Was it a hard journey that you went through? I mean, all that success that you've kind of accomplished, I bet it wasn't a shortcut.
No, there wasn't. I've battled depression, which I think, 40-60% of us have, at one time or another. But it really comes down to loving the skin you're in, accepting your flaws, and capitalizing on your strengths, not your weaknesses. Instead of saying, hey, I can't do this, talk about what focus on what you can do, and that's
awesome.
the best part.
I'm so glad I am honored to hear all this inspiration that you've given me. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much for dropping by to share with us. Whether it's working where you can make a difference or making a difference in your daily life, remember that the world is a big place, but one person can always make a change. Have a safe and classy weekend, San Diego. Oh my God.
That was fun.
I know.
That was fun. This was my first talk show.
Yeah, I had fun talking to you. I'm sorry, my words are like.
inspired.
I know these. I'm so sorry, my words are so rambled and jumbled, but it's just it hits you. Like you're kind of processing, so you're like, well, I don't know what it's saying. Right? Exactly. And